Yeah, that's us, as a matter of fact. It's 65 degrees now, 8:09. Good morning to you, and good morning and welcome to my guest in the studio with me. Steve Jardine is here.
Hey, good morning.
Johnston's Toyota, Johnston's Subaru. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, both places.
I know. What did you drive here today? I didn't look in the parking
Oh,
lot.
I drove a Toyota BZ4X, which is the electric car that they have.
See, why do they do that? Why do they give them names that I can't remember? BZ4X. I would
remember
say
it either.
I drive a car with a B in it.
Yeah, no.
And that's all I'd remember.
Yeah, they sell it at the Subaru store as a Solterra, so that's
Okay.
maybe,
See,
maybe
that
an
I could
easier
remember.
one. That way, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, Toyota makes that car for Subaru as well.
And that's the electric.
That's the full electric, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I drive one of them. I actually had solar panels put on my house and a couple charging stations put up, so that I could say that the owner of the store drives an electric car or a plug-in hybrid and powers it from the sun. So it's kind of cool.
So I have to ask.
And I don't use gas when I'm going around locally. Not that I'm a big fan of the cars, but it looks good on the brochure, right?
Well, yeah, but you like the car, okay? Don't you?
Yeah, no, the car's great. The car's great, but like I was saying off the air, I took a trip to see my daughters, and one's in Washington D.C., one's in Charlotte, and I had a business meeting in Nashville. So I did a
Little side trip to Nashville.
East Coast tour this week. Drove 2,000 miles, but I couldn't do that with an electric car. I'd have to stop
You'd have
every
to find-
250 miles and
Find
plug in
charging
and
stations and
sit there like a knucklehead for a couple hours and scroll on my phone.
Well,
and
I'm
then,
good at sitting around like a knucklehead.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah, so it's you can't do that with an electric car, but they have their purposes, and
Now, see, I have to ask, when I plug my phone into charge,
Mm-hmm.
and it says it's 100% charged, and that means it has 10 hours.
right.
But then tomorrow, when it says it's 100% charged, it'll only have 9 hours and so many minutes. And, like 100% is a little bit less every day. That's the case with electric cars, too,
That's the
isn't it?
case with electric cars as well. Yeah.
I'm
so
sure the batteries last longer on those. They better than on my cell phone. 'cause
Yeah, they have
those are pathetic.
They have a
but
8-year, 150,000-mile warranty or something along those lines. But you are correct. 100% today, and then next year it's 95, and next year it's 90.
Well,
and
it
next
still says it's 100%, but 100%
Doesn't
isn't
last
as
as
big
long.
now
Right.
as it was when you first got it. And that's just a way how people get to manipulate figures, I guess.
Yeah, we have an electric RAV4 that was offered in California like 15 years ago or whatever, and it's now down to, like, when we fully charge it, it only gets like 70 miles.
Okay.
And it used to be 250, or whatever.
Yeah.
The batteries are wearing out, but it's like
The
any other,
reality happens. Yeah.
and like any other technology, it just keeps getting better and better and better. They're going to have
Yes.
batteries soon that the car will have a 900-mile range, not a 250-mile range. So it's out there, but
That's
like
what we're looking for.
we
Yeah.
we talked about it before. I'm not, as a car dealer guy, I like
Hybrids.
old school. Yeah, I like hybrids, but I like a little bit of the old school. Electric cars don't get oil. Don't need oil changes. I
Right.
need to hire new mechanics to work on those things eventually, and that sort of stuff, and different lifts and different requirements at the dealership and stuff. So it's the long term for electric cars. A lot of the car dealers, they gotta spend a lot of money on that type of stuff, and none of that is free, right? So
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if you bought a car at Johnston's, your oil changes can be free for a while.
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
I got an oil change just last week, and you guys took good care of me.
oh, good.
And
Good,
they
yeah.
rotated the tires, and they said, "Uh-oh, you have a nail in your tire." And a couple minutes later, they came back and said, "Nope, it's just a nail head stuck between a couple of the grooves."
Wow, lucky you.
Yeah. They took good care of me.
Oh, awesome. That's good to hear.
Yep, I got to sit in the waiting room and play with your Wi-Fi and eat one of the cookie
Fancy
things.
snacks there,
Yep,
yeah, all that.
Yep. You take good care of me. So tell me about Nashville. You got to go to Nashville on your little
Yeah.
East Coast tour?
Yeah, so
I've not been there.
yeah, pretty cool town. It actually Subaru had their national dealer meeting there about a month ago, and I went down for that. And they said next month we're having this training thing down here as well. with the Subarus, the Wilderness Edition Crosstrek Foresters and Outbacks, and they had this
Wilderness
Edition. So
okay.
they take the car and they beef up the suspension and put different tires on it.
Put a little picture of Sasquatch on the side.
Little
maybe.
picture of Sasquatch. Actually, they do have these cool little things, but because a lot of people they go off-roading or overlanding or whatever the buzzwords are nowadays, and they go in the woods with their cars and drive through the mud and stuff. So they set up this trail up this mountain, down this mountain, over a bunch of rocks and mud.
And you got to drive it.
And you got to drive it, got to
Oh.
experience all of these cool features and that sort of stuff. It was basically for salespeople, but yeah, Subaru said we had some openings, and I'm like, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'll do that.
I'll drive over some things in the woods, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a day in Nashville, and then, we drove through the mountains, Smoky Mountains or whatever the mountains are down there, and made a whole day of it in the woods, and tried out all the four-wheel drive capabilities of the car. It was really quite amazing, and not that a lot of people do that type of stuff, but to know that your car can do that, it's pretty cool. So
That's interesting. This past week, a car knocked down my mailbox and then went across the road and skipped down into the woods a little bit. And if they'd been driving a Crosstrek, maybe that big log that they hit would not have stopped them.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know, right?
But it was a good thing. The state police that came to tell me about my mailbox was very happy that something stopped them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So now when you were in Nashville, did you catch any live music?
Yeah, it starts if anybody on the radio has been there, the bands start at 10 o'clock in the morning and go till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
It's just a wild town, that 3 or 4 blocks on Broadway down there. So, yeah, I was I went right down there. I stayed right next to Kid Rock's place at this cool little hotel, and I peeked inside, and I seen that he still serves Bud Light at his bar, and he's got Budweiser up on his thing. So I thought
I heard that a picture of him drinking a Bud Light was
last week,
posted
the
someplace.
concert and stuff. So I had to see it for myself, and yes, they do serve Bud Light at his place. But it's a fun town, though it was 100 degrees, and so it was nice to go out in the woods with the cars because we were in the shade and stuff, and winter's coming, so you need a all-wheel drive Subaru. You know where to come get them. Right?
That's what I was concerned about, because I need to get to work every day, no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and we're getting inventory now, so it's
hooray!
I know.
Wait a minute. Do you have any of the funny color ones yet? Because you and I both like to drive odd colored cars.
Yeah. No, they got a lot of goofy colors out in the new Crosstreks, and they're all 2024s now. So we're all sold out of 2023. So everything's a 2024, and we got good inventory.
What's better about the 24s?
The Crosstrek in particular is completely redesigned. So it looks the same, but underneath it's all a little bit different, a little bit nicer.
Okay. And what about the Toyotas for 24?
Toyota for 24s, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming out, like the traditional Land Cruiser that went away. The Land Cruiser's coming back.
Oh, my brother had one way back, and he did, in fact, drive it through the woods.
Yeah.
So
the Land Cruiser's coming back. They're redesigning the 4Runner. They're redesigning the Tacoma. So a couple of our biggest models are all getting redesigned, and lots of hybrids and plug-in hybrids on the way and stuff like that. So it's been good.
Okay. Things are good. All right, let's talk some more in a minute, but I'm going to take a real quick break. Steve Jardine is here from Johnston's Toyota and Johnston's Subaru on Wall Radio. 8:20 at Wall Radio, 65 degrees, and with me in the studio, Steve Jardine, Johnston's Toyota and Johnston's Subaru. So, Steve, I know that you go to see just about every show that comes to Bethel Woods.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they have a vehicle up there that says Johnston's on it also,
sure
just like the wall car does.
Actually, they have 2 of them.
2?
Yeah, so we have the Peace Patrol, they call it.
The tie-dyed one.
Yeah, the Subaru Forester that's all wrapped in peace signs and peace and love and music and all that. And that's normally at the gates for the concerts and stuff. They use that in the summertime for their summer programs. And then we have a security pickup truck up there.
Okay.
which is lime green. So
Lime green.
speaking of the
See, cool colored
very,
vehicles.
very noticeable car up there.
So much easier to find them in a parking lot and
Yeah.
everything. My silver car just disappears into the crowd. Of course,
Some people want to do that, disappear into the crowd.
yes.
And
sometimes.
some people want to stand out with a lime green truck. So that's why
you
we
know,
sell both.
When I drive the wall car,
Uh-huh.
I'm a very careful, slow, courteous driver.
Well, that is
Yeah, because if you
fantastic.
cut somebody off when you're driving the station vehicle, they
I
know who
always
you
tell
are.
my employees that. Like, we have our cars all lettered up, and, they go do something
Don't
silly
make me
with
look
it,
bad.
and people know exactly where you're from, and
Yeah,
they
but actually,
quick to get on the phone and call me up and say, somebody cut me off in traffic.
oh yeah, no, I actually drive kind of like a grandma anyway most of the time, so that's okay. But now we were also talking about up at Bethel Woods this Friday night's show. You going to see Rod Stewart?
Yeah, going to see Rod Stewart, and unfortunately, that's the last show of the year. Terrible. I know.
Well, Friday, September 1st, is the first day of meteorological, which is a hard word to say, autumn.
Yeah.
Meteorologists consider it the first day of autumn just because.
Well, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
The summer is over. I don't know where summer went. It's, but, colleges started, or
Yep.
SUNY Orange and whatnot all
Yes,
started
it did.
yesterday.
SUNY New Paltz started yesterday. SUNY
Yeah.
Orange.
Yep. And, Rod Stewart, September 1st, and now the concert season's over, and the Harvest Fest started on Sunday
Pumpkin
already.
spice and apple picking is almost here, and of course the perfect vehicles for any of those would be.
Subarus and Toyotas, absolutely.
How did
yeah.
you know?
I don't
that's
know.
great.
It was great.
But
Yeah, this is the time of the year that I remind my service managers, let's get the plow trucks ready, and they're like, oh my goodness,
But what do you want just regular folks like me to keep in mind for this time of year? Is there something that we should be doing with our cars now?
You're going to find that as the cold weather starts, we get a lot of phone calls for your tire light is on,
Oh yeah, that's right. As soon as you get the first frost or so,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to call it an idiot light, but I
No.
am. The tire idiot light goes on,
Yep.
and that just means that why does it do that again?
Well, all tires supposed to be the same size and spin at the same speed. So sometimes when it gets cold, one tire maybe will lose a little bit more air than another. So the two tires are spinning at two different speeds. So that's why your tire light comes on. And then
okay.
also in the fall, it starts getting cold, and chipmunks and mice and different things start to want to get in your garage and hot.
Climb into the blower motor of my car.
Climb into the blower
Happens
motor.
all the time when you turn on the heat, and instead of just going, it goes.
Right.
Yeah, that
And
means you have a mouse in there.
little leaves come out and stuff.
You have actually a corpse of a mouse.
The corpse
in
of a
there.
mouse, and
Yeah.
then some of the mice get a little hungry and eat on your wiring harness of your car. There's nothing you can really do about that, but we see very, very, very expensive rodent damage on cars. Especially when it
So
comes.
the only
into
answer is to have a cat that lives in your
have
garage,
a cat,
or what?
Have a cat or something. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
so,
we get all these kind of weird things when fall comes around.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we had a lady one time, and she said every time I drive my car, it smells like peanut butter.
What?
And we said, what? Same.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah, when I drive my car and I get this aroma of peanut butter in my car. And we're like, what are you talking about? So anyway, some mouse or chipmunk or something was like taking acorns and nuts or something and put them in the engine compartment. So
Where they got hot.
Where they got hot and
you
made it
smelled
smell of
roasted
peanuts.
peanuts.
And-
Oh my.
Yeah, so,
Actually,
But
one
I've been
time,
doing this for 40 years, so we could spend all day where I could tell you some goofy stories about cars.
I remember one time I had a Kleenex box in my car because I had allergies. So, you had to have a box of tissues right there next to you. And I lived, off the beaten track a little bit in the country. And I came out to the car one morning, and they had been in the tissue box and
Oh,
had
boy.
chewed it up a little bit. And I said, ew, ew. So I threw it away, but didn't think anything of it. Later on, got chilly, so I turned on the heat. and it began snowing inside my car because they had carried little bits
Little
of
bits,
tissues
yeah.
into the vents, and then when I turned on the heat, it blew it back out. And there's snowing tissue pieces in my car, and yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I guess that doesn't happen to people that live in the big city and ride the subway.
Oh yeah, maybe not. Yeah,
No.
but yeah, we have plenty of different stories like that with, the rodents do a lot of damage, and we find all kinds of animals in different places.
And that
stuff.
doesn't happen as often if you drive your car regularly, but if you let it sit for a while, you really need to check. I think I found that to be the case.
Right.
Too.
Yep.
Okay.
True story.
All right. So any hints and tips to help people learn to drive better?
No, but I tell you, driving across, over to Nashville and then to see my daughters in Charlotte, Washington, D.C., there's a lot of people on the road. Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah.
There is traffic everywhere.
And everybody feels they have to go first, right?
Everybody feels they have to go first, and doing 75 miles an hour is you don't pass anybody. And but there's just cars everywhere, and as a car guy, I go, wow, I'm in a great business. Look at all these cars, and at the same time, you're in traffic, going, geez, of course, that was
Be careful, be careful, be careful.
Oh,
That's all
yeah.
you tell yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, because all these cars are driving 80, 85 miles an hour. All you need is one little slip up, and that's a lot of damage. But
Yeah.
it's a great business to be in.
My only advice to people driving is go ahead and let the other guy go first.
Oh yeah.
Let them go first, because if they need to go first that badly, you can keep your eye on them when they're in front of you.
Well, a lot of times too, this is a pet peeve I have with the tinted windows. You're at an intersection, and they might be waving you to go first, but you can't see them wave.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
my pet peeve happened this morning, actually. I come in and it's still dark, and somebody appears behind me all of a sudden, and they want to go faster than I want to go, but we come to a part in the road with the dotted lines, and they could pass, but they don't. They just tailgate me. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, can't help it.
Nope.
Steve, thank you for being here. We're always
Yeah,
happy to
thanks
chat
again.
with you here at Wall Radio. Johnston's Toyota, Johnston's Subaru, home of the Ruby Red Wall RAV4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wave, honk whenever you see us out and about. It's courtesy of you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
We
Have a
got-
good morning.
Yeah, thank you. It's been pretty good so far. We got more music for you, always more music for you, but we're going to stop first for a CBS News update as soon as I push this series of buttons here. Was I ready to push the buttons? Actually, no. It's 8:29 at Wall Radio.